The first time Marcus saw her, he thought she was some exotic creature meant for display, a delicate thing with shimmering lavender skin, silver-white hair cascading to her waist, and eyes like liquid emeralds too big for her small, fragile face. She was small. Not child small, but miniature. No taller than Marcus's forearm, curled up inside a brass parrot cage barely wide enough for her to stretch her legs.
She didn't speak.
Didn't even look at the men drinking and laughing around her. Marcus was in a back room of the Danubian casino, a place where credits changed hands faster than drinks, where fortunes were won and lost in the turn of a card. He was here to play, maybe win enough to get off this rock and finally buy his own ship. But then he saw the girl in the cage. The auctioneer, a fat trogon with 6 arms and breath like rotten fruit, slapped the cage. Rare creature from the Kalari sector, he shouted over the noise. A living, breathing ornament. Worth a fortune to the right buyer. The men around laughed. Someone tossed a peanut at the cage. The girl flinched. Marcus felt his jaw tighten. An ornament? He told himself to look away. To focus on the game. She wasn't his problem. But then her eyes met his. Just for a second. And something inside him twisted. Because those weren't the blank, dumb eyes of some animal. That was intelligence. That was fear. ####### the gamble. Marcus sat at the table. Cards were dealt. Chips clinked. The trogon kept shouting for bids on the exotic pet. 500 credits, someone barked. 700, another slurred. Marcus kept playing, but his eyes kept drifting back to the cage. She was watching him now. Not the game. Him. He won a hand. A big one. Chips stacked in front of him like tiny towers. And before he could stop himself, before he could think, he said it. 1,000 credits. For the girl. The room went quiet. The dragon's eyes gleamed. Sold. Unless someone wishes to raise? No one did. The fat alien slammed his gavel. Cage and all, my friend. Take her. ###### the escape attempt. She didn't move when Marcus opened the cage. Didn't run. Didn't thank him. Just stared, mistrustful, trembling, as if waiting for the punchline of some cruel joke. Marcus kept his voice low. You're free now. Understand? You can come out. She crawled out slowly, her movements graceful, cautious, like a cat ready to spring. The moment her bare feet touched the floor, she bolted. Straight through the crowd, weaving between booths and chairs, so fast Marcus almost lost her. Hey, someone shouted, reaching for her. Marcus was faster. He caught up to her near the door, scooping her up before she could disappear into the chaos of the casino. Easy, he said. She thrashed like a wild thing. I'm not taking you back. Just calm down, all right? She froze at his words. Her bright green eyes studied his face, searching for something. Whatever she saw there made her stop fighting. ########, learning her name. They ended up in Marcus's rented room above the docking bay. It wasn't much. A bed, a table, a single flickering light, but at least no one would be kicking down the door to reclaim her. She sat on the table, knees drawn to her chest, watching him warily as he poured water into a cup and set it in front of her. She sniffed it first before drinking. Do you have a name? Marcus asked. She hesitated. Then, softly, Sarah. Her voice was musical, like wind chimes. Sarah, Marcus repeated. I'm Marcus. Look, I don't know what they were planning for you, but you're safe now. I'll get you off the station. Find you a better place. She shook her head violently. No, can't go back. Hunters will come. Hunters? She nodded. They want last of my kind. Her English was broken, but the meaning was clear enough. Marcus frowned. Last of your kind? As in no others? Sarah's eyes dropped to the floor.
Dead.
All dead. I hide. They find me. Marcus felt a cold anger coil in his gut. Whoever had caged her had wiped out her people too. #######, trouble arrives. They didn't get far the next morning. Marcus had barely finished arranging passage on a freighter when the casino guards showed up. Big, ugly brutes with shock rifles and no sense of humor. Boss wants his property back. The leader growled, eyeing Sarah. Marcus stepped between them. She's not property. She was stolen. I paid for her. The guard smirked. Boss changed his mind. Double your money if you hand her over. Sarah was trembling behind Marcus. He shook his head slowly. Not happening. The guard's smile vanished. Didn't want to do this the hard way. He raised his rifle. Marcus moved first. Hashtag, 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 hashtag the fight. It wasn't pretty. 2 guards went down fast. Marcus had always been quick with his fists. The third got a shot off, but Marcus slammed the door in his face before the bolt hit. He grabbed Sarah's hand. Come on. They ran. Through the docking bay, past shouting merchants and curious onlookers, until they reached the freighter's ramp. Go. Marcus barked at the pilot.
Now.
Engines roared. The ship lifted off just as more guards spilled into the bay below. Blaster fire streaked past the hull. But then the stars swallowed them, and the station fell away behind. Hashtag, 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 hashtag a new beginning. It was only after they hit hyperspace that Sarah finally spoke again. You helped me, she said softly. Marcus glanced at her.
Yeah.
I guess I did. Why? He didn't have an answer at first. He could have said it was because he hated slavers. Or because he was angry at the guards. Or because she looked so small and alone in that cage. But the truth was simpler. Because no one else did, he said finally. Sarah was quiet for a long moment. Then she nodded, as if that explained everything. Hashtag, 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 hashtag epilogue. Weeks later, Marcus found a planet willing to take Sarah in, a sanctuary world for refugees of lost species. She stood at the edge of the landing pad, wind tugging at her silver hair, looking both scared and hopeful. Marcus knelt, so they were eye level. You'll be safe here. Sarah hesitated, then threw her arms around his neck. It was the first time she'd touched him willingly. Thank you, she whispered. And then she was gone, disappearing into the crowd of other survivors, leaving Marcus with the strange, quiet feeling that, for once in his life, he'd gambled on the right thing.